So our first reading today comes from Jeremiah. Jeremiah was a prophet at the end of the kingdom of David, right before the Babylonian exile. Actually, our passage today comes from a period right after the Babylonian exile. Jeremiah has been warning the people that they needed to trust in God and not rely on their alliances and their war power and all, that was all going to fail them. And now he's basically saying, see, I told you so. He's saying, look, if you rely on God, you'll be there in that peace. But if you just rely on your own work, it's not going to work, right? You'll be like in a desert. Our second reading continues our look at the letter of Paul to the Corinthians, his first letter. And here in this area, he's talking about the resurrection and the importance of the resurrection and the centrality of that to our Christian belief. He's defending the idea of the resurrection, probably because of the Hellenistic thought that denied the resurrection, that denied that there was any possibility of resurrection of the body. That's what the Greeks thought. And Paul recognizes he needs to defend that and defend the resurrection to the Christian people. Finally, our gospel is the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes, according to Luke, right? When we think of the Beatitudes, we usually think of St. Matthew's account, the Sermon on the Mount. But St. Luke gives us an account in what he calls the Sermon on the Plain. Now, a lot of scholars say, oh, well, they were just kind of confused and they're both recording the same event, but they didn't quite remember it the same way. I think it's more that Jesus had some basic sermons that he went around, some basic fundamental points that he made every place he went to preach and to talk. And here, St. Matthew remembered this account on a mountaintop somewhere in Galilee and gives us his version of it. St. Luke, right, remembers an account, or has been told of an account that happened somewhere in a plain, somewhere out there right after the apostles were selected. There are some significant differences in it, right? St. Matthew talks about blessed are the poor in spirit, while St. Luke just says, blessed are the poor. It behooves us to look at both sets of blessings and to recognize what Jesus is telling us about what we need to know and what we need to understand to come into the kingdom of God. Hey, a couple of just reflection questions that you might consider as you prepare to hear these readings on Sunday. So the first one is, do I fall into the trap of evaluating my life and the lives of others based on material goods and other physical signs of health and prosperity? And the second one is, am I a man or woman who trusts in the Lord, who delights in his law, and who meditates on the word day and night? If not, what am I trusting in?